So, trying to do my training and Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Nurse Ofiong, a registered nurse, registered midwife that is fully based in Calabar, Cross River State, Nigeria. So you're very much welcome to this channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back, and if you are new to my channel, you are welcome. You will definitely have fun in my space. So you can do all to go back to my previous videos and just watch, get to know me, alright, so that you get to know me better. Yeah, so in this channel we are more focused on health, lifestyle and beauty. So this one will definitely be let me say part of lifestyle and part of health. So let's get right into this video. So in today's video I'm going to tell you 10 things nobody tells you about internship. So let's get right into this video. So I'm just going to start by giving you a brief note on internship. Alright, so internship is just a temporary position that is being held by students or recent graduates, alright, which is aimed at gaining more knowledge at when it comes to practicals, when it comes to experiences, do you understand, in an organization or any form of institution, just like hospitals and all of that. So internship is not just for medical students, alright. Other students after school can actually go for internship. Even engineering students do go for internship. Alright. So, and also this internship can also last for different durations depending on your own field of study. Some can last for months, several months, but when it comes to nursing and most medical courses, this internship lasts for 1 year. Yes, 1 year. 1 year. So for nurses, it's called internship. For medical doctors, it is called housemanship. Are we together? Yes. So starting off with the 10 things nobody tells you about internship. Firstly, internship is definitely going to be an emotional roller coaster. When I mean roller coaster, as per, there are times you'll be sad, there are times you'll be so happy, there are days you'll feel so fulfilled with all pride, alright, but not all days can be Christmas. All days, some days can be normal days, alright. That is, you work so hard, you put in your all, and you just start feeling frustrated, sometimes exhausted. You know you can always get tired, body no be firewood. Yeah, so nobody tells you that internship is calm, emotional roller coaster. In the morning and you feel so motivated, and boom, you get to work and you are having series of events going on. We are all human beings, alright. So when we get to interact with people, and obviously during internship you will surely interact with people. You cannot do internship on your own, right? You will meet people from different places, people with different cultures, different thoughts, different palaces in their head, alright. You will definitely meet those different people and you need to interact with them, right? So you can always get sad, you can always get frustrated, but at the end of the day, the main aim is to gain experience. Secondly, I want to let you know that everything that happens in reality is different from what you see in your textbooks. Yes, you heard me right. So as a nurse, I can remember back then when I was a student, years back, alright, it's not like I graduated like 10 years ago. I finished school last year. So I can remember in textbooks, all those procedures, making of bed, occupied bed, unoccupied bed, post up bed and all of that. They'll be saying, oh, use for linen, Macintosh and all of that. I promise you that you get to the hospital and you will not see any of that. Everybody is managing. Everybody is managing. So don't expect to see whatever you saw in your textbook in real life. You just have to adapt and adjust. If you don't adjust, I don't think you'll be able to cope, alright? So you have to make sure to adapt so that you can easily cope. You have to have an open mind. You need to learn, alright? Internship is a process of learning. You cannot do it all by yourself. Do you understand? You have to be open to learn. You have to understand the fact that whatever you saw in your textbook, whatever you've been told in school, it can also be applicable, alright? Everything that is inside your textbook is for your knowledge aspect, theoretical knowledge, but when it comes to practical, it seems a bit different. And oh my god, I can recall my first day of internship. I can recall that I was posted to a ward, and the first thing I was told to do was to make a bed, to prepare a bed for a patient. All right, we had an admission that day, And normally in school now, you surely want to find out if the bed has been carbonized. You surely want to put on your gloves to prevent transfer of infections or prevent yourself from getting nosocomial infections. But yeah, I was told to make the bed without gloves. But luckily enough for me, I went to work with my gloves, so I was able to use my gloves to make the bed. So that is just it. Nobody tells you that. Nobody tells you that. So you have to be open-minded. You have to open your heart. You have to, you get it? So you have to relax, open your mind, and understand that reality is different from what you see in your textbook.
So the third thing nobody tells you about internship is the importance of teamwork, alright? In different professions, you have to learn to adjust to working with people. Just like in nursing, you get to meet people in different professions, even social workers, not just medical doctors, the radiographers, the physiotherapists, or whatever, even those that work in health record and all. You have to understand that it is important to work as a team, alright? You need to work as a team. I'm not saying you should be so free with everybody, but it is important to know that if you actually want to achieve a goal, you need to work with people. You cannot do it all by yourself. So you will definitely get to meet doctors, your fellow interns. Dear, let me say this, make sure you are friends with your fellow interns. It's very important. Very, very important, because at the end of the day, those are the people that you call. You say, oh, please help me tell the in charge that I'm a bit sick, I may be running late. Imagine if you're not close to your fellow interns. Like, your fellow interns who will be making excuses for you? Nobody. So make sure to blend with the nurses, the senior nurses, the doctors, the physiotherapists, the radiologists, people that are working in the health records. Learn how to communicate with them, alright? Internship requires teamwork, which is very, very, very crucial. And remember, be friends with your fellow interns, even other interns, like the intern, how do they call it? All those optometrists, the physiotherapists, the med lab scientists, and all of that. You definitely, one way or the other, you definitely find yourself in lab village. Maybe not for your patients, or maybe for yourself. Do you understand? So it will be nice to blend with your fellow interns, all right? It will be nice. You don't know tomorrow. So I'm just going to move on to the fourth one, time management. Nobody will tell you that time management is key. You have to have this at the back of your palm, be the back of your hand. Time management is key. You can just resume work and you just find yourself doing this, doing that, carrying one procedure or the other, and at the end of the day, you will just find out that you did not do anything, you did not plan. So for you to manage your time, you have to make sure to allocate yourself once you go to work. Like in most wards, nurses do allocation. Yes, we allocate. You know, there are different bays. So we could be like, okay, the most senior nurse can be like, oh, nurse this, you'll be in charge of this bay. Or sometimes they can allocate based on patients. Oh, you're in charge of this and this patients. It will help you to be specific about your care for that day, which is always very, 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 very productive. So while you are being able to manage your time, you find out that you'll be able to document, you'll be able to make explanations, or you'll be able to make reference to whatever you did for that day. Once you plan, I promise you that your shift will go smoothly, even if you are tired. Yes, your shift will go smoothly. Time management is not just about the shifts and all. Time management can also comprise of you being able to manage your time, like your weekend, your off days, and all of that. You know, internship is not going to be the only thing that you are doing. You need to manage your time so that you'll be able to make time for your family, for yourself. Yes, self-care. You need to rest. So you need to plan your day, alright? And actually, for those that have families, like you're married, you have children, you definitely need to plan. You definitely need to plan your day, plan your life, plan your week, plan in advance, plan for the rainy days. The rainy days, alright? The rainy days. You definitely need to plan for the rainy days, and make sure to plan before you even say, oh, I'm stepping out of this house. Just make sure to plan. Make sure to, you can even make use of your jotter. You can just outline the things you want to achieve for the day. Just make sure that you plan, because time management is key. If you are not able to manage your time, promise you that you will just end up feeling frustrated. Alright, you have to plan your time. Time management is key. And also now, alright, being able to balance your patient care with your normal life is very achievable, right? I'm an intern, and this is more like my off day. This is Saturday. I'm sitting down here and I'm filming. Trust me, I am tired. I stay with my parents. I am tired. I feel very tired, but I had to plan, alright? I had to plan. I just wrote out the things I wanted to do for this week. Before now, last week I already had my plans for the week, alright? But I'm not trying to say if you've not been planning before, you will not be productive. Alright, there are days you'll be inconsistent, just like me. I've always been inconsistent, like most times. Anyone can be inconsistent, alright? Even the most hardworking person can always be inconsistent at any time. So it's just for you to find your, how do they say it? To find your feet and avoid yourself or prevent yourself from falling, alright? You need to find out on time and probably sit up, right? So let's move on to the fifth one. So let's go right to the fifth one. You won't know everything, and it is not even possible to know everything, alright? So once you notice that you don't know this particular thing, you have to admit it, alright? Admit it. Yes, admit it. That one is not, that one has nothing to do with pride or anything. Or when it comes to internship and you don't know something, you have to admit it, alright? Or you would definitely go in for it, alright? So you have to make sure to ask questions, alright? Ask questions. And asking of questions will actually prove that you're a good intern, because yes, you are there to learn. So you should be able to ask questions to gain more knowledge and all of that. So you have to ask questions, alright? Especially when you are doubting something, alright? Most times people make mistakes. I have worked with senior nurses that will tell you that nobody knows everything. Once you feel uncomfortable or you're not sure about what you're about to do, make sure to ask questions. Even them, they'll be so nice to the extent of telling you that, oh, see you, we don't know everything, alright? We learn from you guys. If you have any challenge, make sure to let us know about it. If you have any question, ask. Yes, there are good seniors out there. You can ask questions. Nobody will flog you. You are above flogging, alright? You are an adult. Even if you are not an adult underage, you have every right to ask questions, especially when you're doing your internship, because it is a learning process. If you don't ask, how will you learn? Alright, so if you have been told to do something and you are not sure, or sometimes you can just pick up a folder and, oh, whatever the roads might not be so visible, and you just want to assume. Imagine you assuming. That your assumption now will not get you into trouble. Do you understand? So you have to ask questions, alright? Or if you don't ask questions and you go ahead to do what you feel is right, and maybe it is not right, you definitely go in for it, because you're working with people. Why didn't you ask? So dare you, make sure to ask questions. It's very crucial. It's very, very beneficial, all right? Nobody knows everything, so make sure to ask questions, all right? Feel comfortable, ask questions. Or if you don't know, I know some look might be unapproachable. If you don't know, you can always ask someone else, all right? Ask. So the sixth thing nobody tells you about internship is emotional detachment. Yes, emotional detachment is very, very necessary. I understand the fact that we're supposed to show empathy, which is more like you putting the other person in your shoes. Do you understand? You have to show empathy, but you also have to be strong. If you show too much empathy, which is sympathy, you definitely have a burnout. Do you understand? So just having the back of your mind that every single thing you do, every single decision that anybody in that healthcare team will take is for the best, like it's for the better benefits of that patient, which leads to the fact that that decision that you've carried out or you're about to carry out is supposed to be beneficial to the patient and to everybody. So once you learn about emotional detachment, I promise you that that balance is very, very essential. Very, very essential. Trust me, it is very, very essential for your career. You have to detach yourself from any form of emotional attachment you have with anybody. All right, I know sometimes there might be situations where your family member or your relative might be the patient and you want to put emotions in the middle of care, which is not good at all. So the seventh one is definitely going to be documentation. Yeah, who works without documenting? Documentation is very, very important, and it is very critical. All right, you can just end up having a very busy day, very, very busy shift, and you end up not documenting. I promise you that whatever you did was void. If you don't document whatever you did, nobody knows about whatever you did. Let me just let you know. So no matter how busy you are, no matter how up and doing you are, you have to make sure to document because it is very, very, very important. Do you understand? For reference points and for legal reasons, in case anything goes wrong. So you have to document every single thing you do so that, God forbid, if anything happens, you won't go in for it. Your documentation will stand as your defense.
So the eighth one is the power of a good mentor. Yes, you definitely need a good mentor while going through internship so that you definitely go back to that person, all right? Get advice, some form of advice. You can always ask the person questions, especially when you're not comfortable asking other people, all right? So you have to make sure to have a good mentor. Very important. So the ninth one is you will make mistakes, all right? So mistakes are very inevitable. You are human, and make sure that when you make this mistake, you go back to tell someone that, oh, just find someone you can confide in. Let the person know that, oh, you've made a mistake, all right? Because if you make a mistake and you just keep quiet, you're putting the other person at risk of death or an adverse reaction or whatever. So it's okay to make mistakes. I'm not saying you should intentionally make mistakes, but it is okay to make mistakes. Everybody understands, right? Everybody understands, right? So once you make this mistake, just make sure to confide in someone, either your nurse in charge or your fellow intern, but just try as much as you can to gather the courage to let your colleague or whoever you're working with know that, oh, you've made a mistake, so that they can easily reverse the mistake that you've made, all right? Because in this medical profession, everything is life and death. You cannot just make a mistake and you just keep quiet. Make sure to voice out. Nobody's going to flog you. Nobody's going to flog you. I know it might be embarrassing, all right, but when you sit back and you want to, okay, you don't want to be shamed or whatever. What if that person dies or something happens tomorrow? Don't you feel like you feel worse than that? So just make sure to open up and let people know when you make mistakes. Also, when you make the same mistakes, if they scold you, it's okay. Just make sure that you go back, you read, and you correct your mistakes so that it will not happen next time. Yeah. So lastly, you have to take care of yourself. You have to try as much as you can to make out time for yourself, for your self-care, for your family, for your hobbies, for your loved ones. All right, you have to make out time for yourself. You have to take care of yourself. You have to be a strong intern, all right? You have to always make sure to look good. Yes, first impression counts. Make sure to look good. Make sure to look clean in your uniform. It's very important, all right? Just make sure to take very good care of yourself, all right? And make sure that as you're taking care of yourself, make sure to save. This one is more like a bonus, an addition. I'm supposed to have a different video about this, but let me just give it as a bonus. Make sure to save during your internship. It's very important. no matter how small it is, all right, make sure to save. Or if you cannot, if you're not the type that can save, you can actually plan that, okay, this month I want to get this month I want to get that. You can always use this thing to remember that, oh, this is what I got when I was doing my internship. It's very important, all right. So you have to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself, very important. Invest in yourself, invest in your happiness. And most times as an intern, you are entitled to a duration of time for your leave, all right, maybe 4 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a week for the whole year. So make sure to take your leave, rest, refresh yourself, and get ready for work, all right. It's very important. Thank you very much for speaking with me. Thank you very much. So if you have any question or any challenge, all right, in relation to this video, make sure to drop it in the comment section and I will definitely reply. Thank you so much for speaking with me. Make sure to stay fabulous, take care of yourself. See you in my next video. Bye guys. Bye.